Good afternoon, everyone. I just now read a story called The Telltale Heart by an American writer, Edgar Allen Poe. It's a horror filled, suspense, psychological thriller. The narrator wants to convince the readers that he's not mad or insane. And what follows is a description of a murder the narrator has done, but he wants to convince the readers that he is not mad or insane and that he's very smart. He lives with an old man who has eyes that are blue, and he's very particular about that eyes. He hates that. He hates those eyes. He mentions them as vulture eyes, and he wants to get rid of those anyhow. So what he does is, for 7 consecutive nights, at night exactly at 12, he would peek in at the old man's chamber with a lantern in order to scare him. This continued for 7 days. And on the eighth day, what he did was he again did the same procedure. He peeked in with a lantern into the chamber, but this time the man heard the sound, and he was scared and startled. Of course, he sat up in his bed, and definitely when we hear a sound at night at 12 a.m., we all get up, right? And he was startled. He looked around, and then this particular narrator, the unnamed narrator, he focused the lantern's light exactly on the eyes, the vulture eyes that he wanted to get rid of. Those were the eyes that he hated the most. His whole aim was to get rid of those. Slowly, he focused the light more on the eyes, and with time, the old man started getting scared because he's seeing a light. What followed was beating of his heart. We see a light at night, we get scared, we have our hearts racing as fast as they could. And as time passed, the beating got faster. And now the man was scared if the neighbors would hear that beating. And he wanted to get rid of that beating as well. Then, suddenly, he attacked the man and he pulled that man to the ground. He made that bed fall on him. He pushed the bed on him. And if you're an old man and a bed falls on you, what happens? You die, and the man died. Now the narrator wanted to get rid of that evidence. Definitely, he didn't want. He just wanted to get rid of the vulture eyes. He didn't want a jail, of course. Got rid of the evidence in a very evident way, and wanted to tell the readers he's very smart, and he explains the ways in which he gets rid of the evidences and how he disposed of the corpse. But the neighbors had heard a sound, and they had already informed the police. And now, before he knew, there were two policemen who came to him to search it. But he was very confident because he knew he had destroyed all the evidences that could have possibly told anyone he did the murder. So he was very confident. He was cheery. He smiled and laughed and happily talked to the policeman. But as time passed, that guilt he had because of killing someone, that guilt that he had did a murder, that kept increasing with each passing with each passing second of the clock. A voice in his head kept wailing. It increased with each second, and suddenly he could no longer take it. The guilt had completely taken over him, and he ends up telling the policeman what the deeds he had done, and then eventually also shows the policeman where he had disposed of the corpse. This is a wonderful story because it's horror filled and suspense follows every single second. We don't know what happens next, and the way it is narrated is so beautiful that I was a bit scared while reading it in between. But the moral we get is we need to before after we do a deed, guilt is something that would take over us definitely. So I believe the moral, the perhaps the other wanted to say would be to avoid doing such deeds that might make us guilty. So I'd say it was a wonderful read by Edgar Allan Poe. Thank you.